Namaste, and welcome to the Follow Your Path podcast. I'm your host, Vina Lene Rachel. I'm a moon priestess, intuitive, emotional alchemist, and channeler of the divine, and I've been diving into the worlds of the spiritual and metaphysical for over a decade now to self-heal my own trauma, become more emotionally stable, and cultivate my manifestation magic. I am so excited to now be bringing these same tools and techniques to you on this channel. There are a variety of ways for us to work on our higher selves. We can use practices like yoga, meditation, and breath work. We can receive energy work, crystal healing, or pull tarot and oracle cards. We can call in our angels, ancestors, spirit guides, spirit animals, or more. Or maybe we find more alignment with astrology and the moon. I'm going to hold space for it all here on this channel. As you navigate each episode, I hope you find the guidance and wisdom you need to find your own path of self-healing and magic. May you become confident and courageous enough to continue to follow the path that best serves you. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel and trusting me to be a part of your unique journey. It truly is an honor to do this work and be here. Let's dive into today's episode. Namaste, tribe. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Follow Your Path podcast. I'm your host, Vina Lene Rachel. Moon priestess, intuitive, emotional alchemist, channeler of the divine. And today we are talking about the astrology of October. And this is my third podcast in a row. It's day 3 of my launch. As a reminder, I'm releasing a podcast a day this first week just to give you a better idea of what I have to offer on this channel. I've mentioned in the previous 2 episodes that I kind of have a lot to offer in the ways of what I do. I am a yoga teacher, so I'm going to be offering episodes that are strictly guided breathwork practices, meditations, yoga classes. I'm also an intuitive, and I do different astrological insights and channelings on the moon, or I do different oracle card readings and tarot readings. So I just kind of have a lot going on in the world of what I do, and I want to bring it all to you on this channel. Now, I launched this podcast in the middle of the month, but moving forward, I will check in with you on the first of every month to let you know about everything coming up in the cosmos. For the sake of it being halfway through the month right now, let's just go back to the beginning of Libra season. Let's talk about what sun season we're in right now. It's kind of the theme of October, and it's important to know more about this energy. So we are in the element of air, and for the sake of that, let's all take a deep breath together. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's go ahead and do one more for good measure. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's talk about Libra season, the sign of the scales, cardinal air sign. And we've been in Libra season since September 22nd, and we will move out of Libra season in about a week here on October 23rd. So I'm curious to know if there's any other Libras out there listening. Are there any Libra suns, Libra moons, Libra risings? Put it in the comments, put it in the review. I want to know if you are a cardinal air sign like me. I am a Libra sun, and it kind of makes sense that I'm a yoga teacher and I teach breath work because I'm all about deep breaths and balance and harmony and peace. And that's really what Libra energy boils down to. It's about peace, fairness, justice. This sign of the scales is about everything kind of balancing out. This is also the sign of the peacemaker, and this can sometimes be in regards to judicial concerns, things in the courtroom, anything to do with justice. And we can see a lot of that happening right now. There's a lot of issues around freedoms going on right now, a lot of issues around civil rights, a lot of legal things coming out in the world. And really, there's a big concern around what's fair and just right now. And because everything seems to be kind of unfair and unjust, there's a major disruption in peace right now. Can you feel it? Can you notice how this isn't your typical Libra season? Or if you knew nothing about Libra season, maybe you know this isn't your typical October. Things feel a little different, a little less fun, a little less creative, a little less on that Venusian influence. I don't know, maybe it's just me because I'm a Libra, I notice it more, but let me know how you're feeling. Let me know if you feel like this isn't your typical Libra season, or if you're a Libra, let me know in the comments or the review how you're feeling about your sun season this year, because I'm feeling a little off, just being honest. You know, Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, which is the planet of all things beauty, and it's the planet of love. It's the planet of relationship, and Libras are all about relationship. Libras love to relate to others, especially on an intellectual scale, because there's this air influence, but Libras love conversation. Libras love to talk about big topics and big things. And I don't know, most Libras that I've met, like me, love astrology or love things about the air or the universe or the cosmos or outer space. So there's a lot of interrelationship energy and intra-relationship energy that revolves around the Libra season and interweaves throughout the themes that show up during this time. So think about relationships right now, your relationships romantically, your family relationships, friendships, maybe relationships in the workplace, maybe it's your relationship with yourself. It could also be other relationships, so relationships with your food, with your technology, with your social media. You know, we can have a relationship with a lot of things. Think about where your energy is exchanged. And then think about where things are currently out of balance. The main theme of Libra season is to analyze relationships and make sure that they are in balance. Make sure that your relationships are not costing you your peace. Ensure that your relationships are not a one-way street when it comes to the directional flow of energy. And look at your relationships from a lens of fairness. If there's currently a relationship that isn't fair to your greatest good, it's time to reassess it, reformulate it, or just let that relationship go. Basically, if it's not bringing more beauty into your life, if you don't love it, if it's not lighting up your heart and turning on your fire, if these relationships are not making you feel good, then they are no longer worth your time, because they are tipping you out of alignment and pulling you more and more out of balance. Let's go back and talk about the air element of Libra. Every sign is either cardinal, fixed, or mutable, and Libra is a cardinal air sign. And what this means is that Libra is an initiator of air, which means that this is where it starts. So don't have any negative attachment to your past, to these relationships that you've clung onto or attached yourself to, or maybe hung on to for a little too long. It's okay. Now that you're in this element of cardinal air or initiating air, air is the element of new beginnings. Air is related to the direction of east, sunrise, starting over. So this is your opportunity during this season to do something different, to maybe blow some fresh air into the situation, or maybe air out a situation. If you've got some conflict or some unspoken stuff that needs to come up between you and somebody else, now is the time to deal with it. Remember, Libra is the peacemaker. Libras want peace. So this is a time for you to create more peace. And if it means you have to have that tough conversation, well, it's time to embrace this cardinal air energy and initiate that. Whatever comes out of it is whatever comes out of it. But it's up to you sometimes to take that free will and move forward and create more balance in your life and create more peace. Stop waiting on somebody else to do it for you. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about Libra season for now. When we come back around to it next year, I'll talk more. But know that we are in this season of cardinal air. We're in the season of the scales, the season of harmony and peace until October 23rd. And then we're going to shift over into Scorpio season. And we start to move into shadow season. And I'll talk about shadow work and the shadow season in a later episode, but just know that that is coming. So now is the time to get that breath of fresh air, to embrace that light of the sun and the sunrise before we move deeper into the darkness. Before we talk about the rest of October, let's talk about what we've already experienced over the past few weeks. Let's start with the new moon in Libra on October 6th. So every new moon and every full moon are going to have a different energy. And I talked about this in the previous episode, all about the moon. But just note that this new moon on October 6th in Libra might have had you feeling a little bit more driven around the theme of justice. You might have been more in your feelings. You might have been feeling like things were not fair for you. Or you might have been influenced to start making change so that you can have more balance and fairness and peace in your life. Also on October 6th, Pluto went direct, and Pluto has been retrograde since April 27th. It was kind of the one that kicked off the major retrograde season that we've been in. And with Pluto now going direct, this planet of the underworld, this planet of power and control, this planet that doesn't even know if it's a planet anymore, right? Like some people think it's still a planet, some people don't. But one thing's for sure, Pluto is holding together the outer realms of our universe. And there is a lot of control involved with the energy of this planet. So if you've been feeling since late April like your life has been spinning out of control, if you've been feeling like everybody's taking away your energy or taking away your power, if you've been feeling that imbalance in your relationships, you should have started to feel a shift around the end of that first week of October with Pluto going direct. So what does this mean now? It means that it's time to take back your power. If you haven't done that yet, continue to use this Libra energy to take back control of your life and get everything back into order. Now, speaking of order, we also had Saturn go direct on October 10th, and Saturn is the planet of karma, talking about the organization of things now based on what happened before, right? Action and reaction. And some people may have heard of their Saturn return. This happens about every 7-ish years, every 7 to 10 years. And these are times in our life when we're learning big lessons, like big karmic lessons, learning things that make us make a different choice in the future for our greater good. I've heard Saturn referred to as the principal planet. So thinking about the high school principal who's there to enforce a few rules and teach you lessons as you're growing up. And with Saturn going direct on October 10th, now is again the time to take back your power and grow up a little bit. And stop making those same choices over and over that put you on the same path. that bring you down into that same lower frequency where you're less happy, where you're less satisfied. We don't go through these big shakeups in our life and these big lessons in life to experience pain or to hurt us. We go through these lessons in life so that we can learn and so that we can become better people and that we can become higher evolutionary beings. So embrace the big life lessons that you've learned. And if you've gone through one since Saturn went retrograde on May 23rd, see that as a gift. Look for the wisdom in it and make the commitment to make a different choice moving forward so that same lesson doesn't pop up again. Okay, so that's what we've been going through for the past few weeks, for the month of October so far. Now let's move forward and talk about what's to come. The two big events that are going to happen in the next couple of days. On October 18th, both Jupiter and Mercury, hallelujah, go direct. Now, Jupiter retrograde isn't such a bad thing. Jupiter is our planet of growth and expansion. It's the biggest planet in our galaxy, and it's been retrograde since June 20th. So if you've had anything coming up around growth or transformation, change since June 20th, that's what's been going on. But Jupiter is also the planet of joy and luck and expansion. It's the happy planet. It's the fun factor planet. And when Jupiter is retrograde, it actually gets brighter and brighter and brighter. Its light grows. And what that energy does is it shines light down on all of the things that make us happy, that bring us joy, that make us feel lucky. We don't have to win the lottery to feel lucky. We don't have to win a grand prize drawing. I feel lucky every day that I wake up in my home with my family, when I see my beautiful baby boy, when I walk into my studio and I see my students and I get to do things like this, put out a podcast. I feel so lucky. And that's the energy of Jupiter. So look back since June 20th. Look at all you've been blessed with. Look at all that's bringing you joy. Look at how lucky you feel and why. And as Jupiter goes direct on October 18th, make the commitment to continue to put your intentions around that stuff moving forward. Set a goal to do what makes you happy. Make it a mission to shine light on all the things that you are blessed with every day. One of my favorite self-conversational prompts or journal prompts is, how lucky am I that fill in the blank? How lucky am I that I get to sit here and talk to you for a living? How lucky am I that I have my beautiful son and husband in my life? How lucky am I that I have a yoga studio that I can interact with other people and share my gifts and help change the world and help others self-heal? How lucky are we to be on this planet at this point in evolution, at this point in time, to be doing all of this light work and all of this shadow work? How lucky are we to awaken right now and to build this future up for the greater good, for the next generations to come? How lucky am I? How lucky are we? Now, Mercury is going direct also on October 18th, so how lucky are we that we're finally getting out of the Mercury fog at the same time that Jupiter is going direct? So when Mercury goes direct, that day might feel a little weird still when we're in that post-shadow phase for a couple of days. We might still be in that Mercury retrograde hangover. So your tech, your communication, all that stuff isn't going to clear up immediately on the 18th, but things will start to feel a little bit more normal over the next few days. Now, Mercury has been retrograde since September 27th. It's always in retrograde for about 3 weeks. So if you've been dealing with anything techie, anything with trouble with communication, either online or person to person, even if you've been dealing with things with your throat chakra, so anything to do with your sinuses or respiratory stuff, or maybe you just had a little bit of a sore throat, all of that stuff should clear up after Mercury goes direct on the 18th. And then 2 days after that, we have the full moon. The full moon is in Aries on October 20th. Full moons are always going to be in the sign opposite of the current sun season. Since we're in the solar season of Libra, we are in the full moon of Aries on October 20th. And Aries is a fire sign. And full moons are all about fire and lots of energy. Aries is also ruled by Mars, which is currently in Libra and a little bit debilitated. So this is going to be an interesting full moon, and we'll talk more about it during the actual time of the full moon. But just know that that full moon is rising and will be here in the sign of Aries on October 20th. And then finally, on October 23rd, we shift into Scorpio season, kind of wrapping up the month. And the new moon in Scorpio will arrive in November on November 4th. Now, I want to backtrack to Mars just real quick, mentioning that Mars is currently in the sign of Libra. Libra, remember, is ruled by Venus, kind of the planet of beauty and really all things feminine. So when Mars, the planet of masculine, is ruled by a sign that carries the energy of the feminine, there can be a little bit of a conflict there. So this is Mars getting a little frustrated right now. Over these next few weeks, or you might have already been experiencing this, you might see a little passive aggressiveness in the world. We might see some bullying. We might see some lashing out from the masculine or from male energy, a little bit of a temper tantrum energy. That can even happen. And just know that that's all going to shift at the end of the month as well. So at the end of the month, on October 30th, Mars will shift from the sign of Libra into the sign of Scorpio, and he feels a little bit more at home there in that sign of the underworld. The cosmic warrior has no problem going to battle, especially in the Shadowlands. So Mars will be feeling a lot more comfortable after October 30th, and your masculine energy or the masculine energy around you might start to calm down as well. Okay, Astro fam, that's all I have for you today. That's what we have coming up in the cosmos over the next few weeks, and that's what we've been through so far in the month of October. And I'll be back with you on October 19th. I'll tell you a little bit more about that full moon rising in Aries, and we might touch base a little bit more on Jupiter and Mercury going direct. But until then, stay strong. Stay in your power. Take back your power if you've been feeling out of control. Find more balance in your life. And look at all of your relationships. Make sure that they're bringing you joy. Make sure that you're having fun in your relationships. Make sure that there's an equal exchange of energy, that things are in harmony. And make sure that you're feeling fully supported and aligned. It's going to be so important as we move into the shadow season coming up. So I'm sending you all the best over these next few weeks and over the next couple of days until I see you again to talk about the full moon. Until next time, may we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all know peace. And may we all feel loved. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Blessed be. I hope today's message served you. If you enjoy the Follow Your Path podcast, I would love for you to leave a review. As a thank you, every month I do a drawing from the reviews and I choose one person to win a free 1-hour, one-on-one soul coaching session with me. This can be done in person or online depending on where you are. I also feature reviews on my website and social media, so thank you for the feedback and the testimonials. It truly is an honor to be here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to meeting with you again in the next episode.